Hey everybody, welcome to our newly formatted show, Disability Perspective. Today I'm here with my old partner, Mark Knutson. Mark, we are introducing a new friend today, or well, somebody we've known for a while,
Right.
but tell us about our guest today.
Yeah, our guest today is Susan Hagel, and she does classes for it's called infant signing. Is that correct? Or
Baby sign language.
baby signing.
Okay.
And that. So
And just to be clear, we're not signing contracts. We're not getting them movie stars.
No,
We're
no.
teaching them to.
sign language. That's correct, right? Mm-hmm. You want to just start off and just kind of giving us just a brief overview, and then we'll dive into it.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. I'm very
Yeah.
excited to be here because I'm always very excited to talk about the idea of using simple gestures, simple signs with infants and toddlers before they're able to talk so that they can communicate to you what they want and what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been teaching baby signing for about almost 25 years now.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, really? I didn't realize it had been
Like
25 years.
Yeah.
Because your background, why don't you just talk a little bit of what you did
Yes.
as a profession, because your whole job wasn't doing this baby signing, correct?
Right, right. No, I worked as a therapist at Sister Kenny Institute, which is now Courage Kenny Rehab, and I did that for 41 years. But when I
What?
was in college, 41 years,
Yeah,
yes.
I know.
See, we have known each other a long time.
We
Yeah, way
have.
too long.
And but when I was in college, I was interested in sign language, so I took classes and kept up my skills and enjoyed teaching some basic sign language and community ed classes. And then when I heard about this idea of incorporating signs with babies who can hear, and just was very intriguing. So I researched about it, and then I decided that this would be an excellent extension of what I enjoy about communicating using signing, and it's just a wonderful thing that parents can do with their child to give them a boost in regards to language development and brain development, as well as just making life a little less frustrating when you know what that pre-verbal child wants. So, and it's very simple signs like signing milk or more, or they're all done, or they like the kitty cat. So
Okay.
and so it was something that I decided I would really love to be able to teach parents about, because it was such a wonderful concept and a wonderful thing that you can do with your children.
Because now the parents are parents who can hear.
Correct.
Right. So it's not they're going for the
Nope,
sign language.
it's not necessarily at all for, a lot of times when I first started out, people would think, oh, you're teaching children who are deaf. And I'm like, no, this is the idea of teaching children basic gestures and signs at that pre-verbal stage, and when they can understand words, they can understand language, and they know what they want. But it takes a long time for verbal language to develop.
Okay.
So this
Yeah.
is like a bridge to over that time when they can understand language, but they can't produce speech.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because my granddaughter is 3, but she's at that age. She tells us exactly. Well, not exactly, but she can tell us what she
Right.
wants. But you're talking more.
I'm talking about the ages of like 7, 8 months
Okay.
until up, to maybe 18 months.
Okay.
And even when children start to talk, they'll have just a few words, but they'll
Yep.
know a lot more signs
Okay.
that they can communicate.
And how do the parents find out about this, or is there a lot of interest in the parents that want to do this?
Yes, there is a lot of interest. And what's interesting now is when I teach my classes, it's something, and of course I am teaching the parents because the parents become the teachers of the child. Yes.
Yeah, now I hadn't thought about it, but now thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that makes
You're
sense.
not going to teach a 9-month-old a whole bunch of signs
Yeah,
sitting in a classroom.
In a classroom, yeah.
So-
Class today. No, hey, you infant over here, listen here. Yeah. That's right. You got to be teaching.
Right. So the idea is that parents come and I teach the parents in one class everything that they need to know about baby signing. So I talk about the benefits. I talk about the techniques. You know, how are you going to teach your child? And then I do teach the parents about 60 vocabulary words during my class, so that they are
60 different signs.
60 different signs.
Signs, right?
Yep, for animals, foods, things, and people, and actions, and even
I was going to ask,
and
even actions. Okay.
Yep. And then even a few emotion signs, because when a toddler starts to experience those emotions, and if you don't have words to express what they're feeling, that's when acting out behaviors can happen, things like that. So, so it does a lot to not only help with brain development, but it also helps with decreasing frustration and developing this bond, this communication bond with a child. So
Now, long term, when a child learns this at a young age, do they have other benefits going forward? Is it a learning tool? How does it help them in their development?
That's a very good question. It absolutely can be a learning tool, as you say. And research shows that children exposed to baby signing at this early age, when they get to school age level, they're scoring an average of 10 to 12 points higher on IQ tests when they get tested. And when they get to high school, an average of 20 points higher on an SAT, on their SAT score. And what is happening when you are
what do you think
when you are engaging a child in these different activities and different language techniques, you know, it doesn't matter if you are talking or if it's sign language, or when you're reading to a child, you are developing that language center. And the time for language development is birth to age 3.
Wow, okay.
I have a lot of parents who come, and it's bilingual households. And sometimes parents will say, gosh, we're already doing English and then another language.
Right.
And if we add baby sign, is that too much? And I'm like, no, this is the time for language, you know, not high school like me. You know, and my French is like all gone. You know, so
I never did learn it.
No.
Yeah.
I had enough with English.
Yeah. And
We
they
still
find
see that.
that children exposed to baby sign language have a much greater interest in books. And
Really?
Yep. And very often they tend to talk a little bit sooner. And real often the first words that they say are for the signs that they know, because they already know what something is called, and are familiar with, you know, that action word or things like that. So
Now, like you said, the class it's a one class for an hour.
Yep.
And it's for
2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours. Okay. And for the parents, what would be one of the first things that the parents would start teaching?
Sure.
The child in that.
Yeah. You are going to start with very basic signs. And I think some of the very first sign would be milk. And to sign milk,
Yep. I
so
did get that one
you
from
squish your hand open and closed. And it doesn't matter if you're right-handed or if you're left-handed. So
Milk is milk.
And milk is milk. And so that would be one of the first signs that you would start with. And then maybe more. You know, might be one of the first words. And then I might encourage another noun. Very often, if someone has a pet in the house, like if they have a cat or a dog, and that is of interest to that child, that might be one of the first things. Because with nouns, you can have the object there.
Oh,
you
right,
can,
right,
right. You can have the bottle of milk there, and you're signing milk, so it goes together. And if there's a kitty cat walking by, but for signs like more or all done, those are action words and verbs, and so the action needs to happen. So, and so you're just going to start with 2 or 3, so that it's not confusing, and so the child can see that this is something novel that you're doing, and they can pick out this action. And your goal is for them to try to model the sign when you're doing it. So. And when they first start signing, it's not going to look like adult hands, so you have to watch very carefully and watch their movements, and but be encouraging and be excited about it, and you'll find that they will start picking up that, oh, this gesture, this sign goes with this word. Okay. So this goes together with milk.
And so it kind of becomes muscle memory for the child to go, okay, I want some milk. Mm-hmm. Or, I want more.
You want more of something.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So if the parent does that, say you want more, and then children are like mimics in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So they're going to mimic the parent.
Correct.
And that's part of the learning process.
That's part of the learning process.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you can think about, one of the first signs that, like, every person or every parent in the United States wants to teach their child how to wave bye-bye, which is a sign. It has a word attached to it, and it has a meaning. And so it's like you're just extending this idea of teaching them to use a sign.
Because, every parent teaches that in a rudimentary way. Mm-hmm. This just expounds on that idea. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is there a sign for listen to me?
I can use it with you. Pay attention.
So there. Okay, Charlie, I know you'll have to use it on me now.
Now frequently.
Now that you know that.
Charlie has a hard time keeping me paying attention.
No, I understand. You brought us a video clip today. Explain to us what the video is showing, and also, we'll also show their audience where they can see it in full. But what about the clip we're going to see here?
Okay. You're going to see a short clip of a child who is 12 months old. Okay. And so the parents have been very consistent with trying to teach him some signs. And so you're going to be able to see that when the mom is offering him a little sippy cup of milk, he's able to sign milk, and he gets all excited, and she says, ask if he wants more, and he can sign more. And so you can see at the age of 12 months, he has a very simple vocabulary of just a couple signs. And that's about what you can expect at that age. You want to start at, I would say 7 or 8 months of age, and then
7, 8 months.
And then by 12 months of age, they'll know a couple of signs, those first ones that you started with. And you just keep adding the signs as they start picking them up. And whatever is their need or want or what they're interested in is something that is a sign that you're going to add. Okay. And I think kind of the banner time for baby sign language is between 12 months and maybe 20 months. And after 12 months of age, they can easily expand their language, their sign language vocabulary to be up to 15 or 20 signs by the time they're 14 or 15 months old.
How many?
20 to 25.
25.
Yes. And they can start putting signs together, like signing more please, because we all want our children to be polite, so.
I've got a question, but I'm going to wait because we got to do the video. So
Oh, okay.
I have to pay
All right.
attention and remember the question.
All right, let's see the video now.
Maybe around 8 months, 8 or 9 months, he was actually doing the milk sign fairly consistently. That was the first one we did. Ty, do you want some milk? Oh, yeah? He does the milk sign, he does the more sign. What do you want? More? Okay. You want more? Yeah. Oh, there you go. We're right now working on please and thank you. So please and thank you, and just trying to be pretty consistent about it. Well, I think it's just been that it seems to decrease his frustration and our frustration around meal times. I think that's probably been the most useful. More food? Yes, okay. Here you go. You want to hold it? There you go. Oh, good job. Good job.
Come to Dad. He's able to communicate what he wants, and he gets a real nice sense of pride out of that.
Okay, that was a really good video. Mark, you had a follow-up question,
Yeah.
unless you forgot.
Well, now, you were saying they would have like 20 to
Yes.
25 signs.
Correct.
How many do you think? One of the infants that you've had, what's the most do you think they've retained in that? You know, how many signs have they? You know, each infant's going to be a little different.
Well, of course, yeah. And any child who is born premature, you know, so these months, you know, that I'm, you know, giving
Right.
you an example about,
right.
you know, it's going to
It's going
vary
to kind
per
of
child.
Yeah,
They're
it's
still developing.
A lot of fluctuation.
Correct,
but
correct.
Kind
absolutely.
of a baseline, yeah.
Mhm. But by the time a child gets to be 17, 18 months of age, you know, they would be able to have a vocabulary of 30 to 35 signs, and then they're also going to have some words. And a lot of parents say, okay, we're doing baby signing. How do we know when we're going to stop doing baby signing? Well, it's a
right.
very natural progression. So because our goal is talking.
Sure.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
goal is talking, and they will start doing the sign and saying the word at the same time, because
Oh,
that's
right.
what the parents have been doing.
Sure.
And then eventually, you know, they won't need the sign anymore because they can say the word so that you can understand it. So,
Yeah, so then the
it's,
signing drops.
the
kinda
signing
drops,
just kind of drops
fades,
away.
More
But-
fades
Fades
away
away.
than drop.
But does it stay with them as they grow? I mean, do they remember
Nope,
those things?
nope. It's like
They
any
kinda-
language. If
Okay.
you don't use it, you're
it's
going to
gone.
forget
Yeah,
it.
okay.
So,
So I noticed, though, I mean, you're dealing with very young children, 8 to 20 months. You didn't give us a sign for, I need my diaper changed.
so there is a sign for diaper. So, which is you kind of brush along your
Along your upper
waist
side there,
where
okay.
where the diaper tabs would be on a child, and also the sign for I have to go potty is the letter T hand shape has your thumb through your first two knuckles, and then you kind of wiggle it in
Oh,
the
so
air.
T
So-
and then toilet, basically.
Yep, T
Oh.
for, yes. And so you might work on teaching your toddler the sign for diaper so they can let you know when they need their diaper change. And then when you start working on potty training, then you would, you know, switch up.
Move into that.
So you're saying this is T in sign language?
Correct. This is the letter T.
Okay.
Correct.
So compared with sign language to baby signing, is there some other similarities? Somewhat?
It is based on adult American Sign Language, because why would we reinvent the wheel?
Right.
So
right.
all of the signs are the same signs that adults would use. But our goal when we're using baby signs with a child is communication. And so if you'll see a lot of variations with little kids, you know, the sign for all done is like this. My niece did this. And I've seen a lot of other little kids just keep wiggling and keep waving and they're all done. And it's all fine, as I say, because our goal is communication. Occasionally there's a sign that would be difficult from a fine motor standpoint for a baby to do. For example, the sign for dog or puppy is you pat on your thigh and then you snap your fingers. Well, I can't even snap my fingers. So that is not anything that a small child can do.
Right.
So I just teach pat on your
Pat the
thigh
leg,
yeah.
to say, here puppy, here puppy. And so, you can change stuff. And it's perfectly fine for a child to make something up, their own sign for something, so long as the parent and the child know,
What it means.
what
Right,
we're
right.
communicating about. So we're not looking to be perfect signers, we're looking to be communicators.
Communicators of that.
Extrapolating that out a little bit, if you have a deaf parent,
Yeah, I was just going to go. You took my next. Go ahead.
and they're going to naturally teach your child.
Correct.
Is there, I'm not sure if you can answer, but is there a challenge in that child learning regular language skills?
I'm going to answer that question in kind of two parts. Well, first of all, this whole idea of using baby signing was not discovered, isn't the right word, but a speech language pathologist had a friend, the parents were deaf, and noticed that their small child, their 10, 12-month-old child was using signs, and those parents who were deaf were able to understand. And so that's kind of where this idea was, gosh, I should use sign language with my child, even though I'm a hearing person and,
Right.
My child is hearing, but gee, I sure would like to know when they're hungry or if they're all done with something, whatever. And so that's where the concept started. And the research all happened. There's 20 years of research that went behind this movement of using baby sign language with their child.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how it started. So it was because children of parents who were deaf were able to communicate.
Right. And
The second part of your question is about, if parents who are deaf, have a hearing child, how
Yeah,
does
that's
their
what I'm-
language
that's what-
develop?
right. That's-
Their language would develop, because they are going to have language in school.
Sure.
So, and they're going to be around people with verbal language skills all the time, and they will just be a bilingual child. They will, English and sign language.
Okay.
And sign language is the third most used language in the United States of America. And so,
Yeah, I guess I
so
wouldn't be
it's
surprised.
kind of a
I was going
good,
to say it is, but then you think about it. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
so it's kind of a good thing to know a few signs, absolutely.
well, and not to say, deaf parents can still speak, but their language skills diminish because they don't hear other people
of
speak.
Well, it
because of their
depends.
hearing
It depends
loss.
upon the person.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't make a general statement
Right.
about that.
No, that's true.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say because so with the baby sign, it's a very I guess it's not even I was going to say it's a very small subset of sign language, but it's really not even a subset.
No,
because
you
as
just-
time has gone, it has developed into its own unique signs and that in a way, correct? Or
Well, the signs are the same. The sign for more or all done or milk are the same whether you're a grown-up or a baby.
but is it the same? Oh, when you say a grown up who's using
Sign language.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
using okay.
Yeah, it's based on adult American Sign Language. So the sign for milk is the same in Minnesota or Texas or California. It's the same.
How much of then is the baby sign the same as for an adult, or all
It's all the same.
they are okay? So
It's all the same.
So all the signs that
all
are
the signs
used in
are
baby sign
correct, are the same.
are the same for
Yeah.
adults then too.
But when I was telling you
but
about
a little, some of them improvised a
Well,
little, because like you said with the dog and the
right.
dog with the padding and
Yeah, that's the only one that I can really think of right now. But but just that children will modify it themselves. You know, kind of like, you know, when you have a small child who's just learning to talk and they're trying to form the words,
Oh, right,
they
right.
don't sound like adult words.
Right.
Yeah.
And so real often parents have to be the interpreter for their small child, because, you know, another person
Right.
don't understand the words, but they do, because they know what, you know, what the child is talking about. And so it's the same with the signs. The signs won't look like adult signs because they don't have the coordination.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
right,
as you showed before, if you went the all done like that, but some children do this.
Yeah, some
instead.
children do this, some
It's
children
their
do that.
adaptation of that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And as I say, you know, we're not looking to be perfect signers, we're looking to be communicators, so that you know what your child wants and needs. And the vocabulary that I teach in my class are based on, are signs based on what you want your child to be able to communicate to you. So, you know, we work on the sign for eat and drink, but not hungry and thirsty. Because it's like, hello, if they sign eat or drink, you know, you know what's happening there, and you know what they need. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that kind of covers it then.
right.
So tell our audience where they can find out more about this kind of
Okay.
class.
You can go to the AMA Parenting Center website, and
I'm a AM.
AMMA,
Okay.
and which means mother, AMA Parenting Center. And there's locations of my classes in Edina, but they offer a lot of other classes, you know, prenatal, new parent classes, and they have some classes are in Edina, there are some in Maple Grove, and even Lakeville. So there's, you know, different sites throughout the
Okay.
Twin Cities. So, as I say, they have classes for new grandparents, they have CPR for babies, baby massage, you know, how to prepare for childbirth, you know, the whole.
So it's all on that
Yep.
website.
And all the classes are on that website.
And I'm presuming there's a price attached with all these. Mm-hmm. Do you offer any of these classes for low-income people?
You would have to call the office. I don't really have anything to do with the
Right.
registration piece
Yeah,
of it.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so you'd have to look at the website.
Okay.
Or as I say, call to find out more about that.
Great,
Okay.
cool.
Well, Mark, time to wrap it up.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Susan. I didn't even realize that you've been doing the baby sign for 20-some years, and
Yep.
I kind of didn't realize, but maybe I didn't want to admit how long we've known one another, but
A long time.
maybe that's another show.
That would be another show. So thank you for having me, and I hope that someone who is watching our show today
Yep.
will think about using baby signs with their children, because it is just wonderful to see them develop in their language.
Okay. Well,
Or they can email us at Disability Channel,
MN.
and we can refer them on. So
Sure.
Disability Channel, MN,
at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Well, want to thank you all for watching our first ever episode of Disability Perspective with Mark Knudsen. Want to thank our guest again, Susan Hagel. I'm Charlie Brose. We'll see you all next time.